First of all, thank you all for coming, and thank you to Grant and to Malvern for asking me to be here and for hosting this great event. So I'm actually going to start by reading an essay, which is, although I write them, obviously, it's not something that I've done in public before, so you guys are my experimental audience. All right, so this essay, it's a lyric essay. It's called Recurring. Inside a moving hotel elevator, I'm painting pink strokes on the wall. It feels like I'm painting glue on thick fabric. I'm in a hurry because the first floor is fast approaching. Right before the door slides open, I bring the thin paintbrush down to my right side, trying to hide it from whoever is waiting to step in. I can't see the person, but I know it's a man. We stand in silence until he leaves. The doors close again, and again I bring the brush to the wall, this time retracing the strokes, trying to fix it before someone else arrives. This repeats. The word repeat comes from a word meaning seek. The origin of the word body is unknown. Traced back to a German word meaning both body and corpse, it also means a person's trunk. The body has a trunk. The body is in the trunk. The body is a corpse. The trunk is plunging into the river. Supposedly, a dream that you are locked in the trunk of a vehicle plunging into water indicates that you feel you have no control, that you can't escape something in your waking life, and that your life is sinking into your subconscious. But you could decide the car is someone else's body. Dream experts say sex dreams are rarely about sex, but they don't say dreams without sex are most likely sex dreams. The first sex dream I can remember having was in middle school, long before I lost my virginity or had even seen porn. Standing outside of a McDonald's, desperate for no one to be looking at us, I kissed a boy from the roller rink. Soon after, I dreamt, naturally, that we had sex on a pool table. Most of the dream was just knowing he was above me or rubbing my hand against the green billiard cloth. I think of them as dry dreams. You don't wake up sticky, but maybe later that day you're washing the dishes or taking groceries out of your car, or you're in an elevator staring at the floor because someone else is there too. And then you're thinking of the dream you had the night before where you were trying to peel tomatoes with a spoon and you just know. Last night, I was in an enclosed space, my whole body inside, with a desperate need for it to be tongue-colored. Stuck in a movement, up and down, it's looping, on loop. A man walks in and then gets off. I didn't mean to pun when I said river, but now I see it's a body of water. The body, its trunk, is locked inside the trunk of the car, and the body is entering a body of water. I know it's not my fault that my body is mostly water. Sometimes having sex with someone I love turns into a sex dream where I'm the body in the trunk of the car, struggling to remember that I am the river. Sometimes I make it out of both, grasping for air and your body so I can fill my mouth. More often, the car cracks the surface of the river and splits everything black except a pinprick of color I can't see. I focus on what's almost missing, and it shoots tall like a cursed boy, quick growing into a beast, but it's all made of sound, and I know who he is, and I go missing. Once, on vacation, inside our hotel room, I half watched you get out of bed, walk through the almost dark room, and close the door behind you. Barely awake, I couldn't see what I saw. I thought, this is a dream. I thought, This is okay. Is this okay? I thought of our fight earlier that evening, how we yelled, how you often walked out when you were upset. I rolled to the edge of the bed and sat up, rubbing my face, and then I saw your hotel key on the dresser. I somehow shook myself into some shoes and hurried after you. I rode the elevator to the first floor, almost tripped over a sign marked, "Please excuse our renovations," and didn't find you. I ran outside and didn't find you. I ran briefly in each direction and didn't find you. I rode the elevator back to our floor, hoping I'd find you waiting outside of our room. I didn't find you. I walked back to the elevator, not knowing where else to go. A chime and a slide, and your face, so confused. We walked back to our room. A person can't disappear without a trace. To disappear, someone needs to know you were here, and that person's body will always remember what's missing. When I was about 5 years old, I decided to run away from home. I grabbed a blanket and a jar of peanut butter and sat underneath the carport for what felt like forever. Another little girl showed up, and when I asked what she was doing, she said, "I live here." I don't know if my brain invented her, or if she was a weird neighborhood kid, or if she was a ghost, but I remember I wasn't afraid of her, and I remember that she just disappeared. I'm inside the trunk of a car again, and again, you are sleepwalking into an elevator. When I wake, you aren't next to me because I don't live in our house anymore, and you don't live in our house anymore, and someone else lives in our house now. I remember your face so much whiter as the elevator door opened, and how I couldn't know how scared you must have been to wake up not in bed, but somewhere where everything was white with the dust of construction, and how badly I wanted your body and my body together, repeating, like before I started disappearing when you touched me. But that's over now. A stroke I trace over my bed sheets, looping. Okay, so that's the essay, and then everything else I'm going to read. They will be poems, and they are from a series called Who Took This Selfie? So they're all self-portraits with some sort of technological counterpart, I guess. So the first one's called Self-Portrait as Your Ex's OkCupid Profile. When you're sad, just remember the internet doesn't love you either. This one, before I read this one, there's two notes, since you can't see it on the page. So at some point in the poem, I'm gonna say marry me, but it's not marry with an A, like be my wife, it's marry with an E, like Merry Christmas. And then I'm also gonna say a Latin word, which I know grown, but I think it works. I'm gonna say a Latin word, and it's pronounced rape, but it's spelled like rape, so R-A-P. Self-portrait as Stephanie has died of dysentery. I take my lover's prescriptions home for Christmas and hole up solo in a hostel with beach scene murals in every bathroom, just begging for a poorly drawn tsunami. Shame, I'm not equipped with a dick, but I don't dwell. Instead, I scrawl, marry me, on the beach scene in the bathroom closest to me, using permanent marker they can paint over, and they will. In my room, I boomerang between the traffic in my mouth and the empty freeway I've never seen. I think back to trying to walk carefully across a series of massive roots pushing up from the ground, where there was no tree. I turn on the television so someone can hear me. Everything happens accidentally. I'm chucking empty bottles against concrete, writing a letter to the woman I love on my favorite jeans, saying how happy I am that I brought her with me. I text my lover, I'm not sorry. Resting my head against the beach, I see someone has inked after me. Carpe diem, seize the day in the breeze. But they're wrong. They're always wrong. That phrase actually means pluck the day, like a flower. To tell someone to seize in Latin, you have to say rape, but everyone has forgotten. In big black marker where the sun used to be alone, I write, it's rape diem, dumbass, and go back to my room where there's a pawn shop on the TV and someone has been crying into my beer. What up, motorcycles? Self-portrait as celebrity tweet. All day on the internet arguing about sexism, and now all I want is someone to make me a sandwich. Self-portrait as Earthlink. Facebook, I'm proud of you. How long we've been together. I want you to meet my family. Call my parents sir and madam, or whatever your algorithm. Let's take a picture. Let me take a picture of me and you at the good angle. Post it on Instagram, tweet that shit forever. Every day like a sunrise. Hashtag I love you. Invite all the commenters to take a quiz that asks them to take us away to what city should I live in. Then film our journey for YouTube. Look, world, we aren't looking at you. We are somewhere without you, and the music is here too. I am so stoked to Snapchat some stranger a screenshot of the scummiest part of the movie. Maybe she can write a book about what happens, self-publish it and sell it on Amazon. Donate the profits to be a part of the crowdfunding a startup that promises to take photos of faces so we can look at the faces and say, alone in our rooms or right next to you, hey, I have one too. Want to see it? It'll cost you 10 views of a moment you are taking video of. But I'll make a Vine to make up for it, where I say your name over and over and over till it sounds fake, a word gone bad, like yellow, or organ, or hello, or peach. And you'll be so happy I'm in your pocket saying your name for all who are watching. And one day some person will buy a domain and use your name in the process, because your name will be a dream like dial-up, which means it will have nothing to do with you.com. This next one's called Self-Portrait as Mark Zuckerberg liking his own profile picture. If you're not familiar, Mark Zuckerberg is the Facebook dude. Also, I read earlier today on Facebook, of course, it was a trending news topic, that Zuckerberg and his wife are expecting a baby girl. So there's that. Self-portrait is Mark Zuckerberg liking his own profile picture. In the future, every grave will bear a dick pic, yours or someone else's. Excuse me. Self-portrait as AOL Instant Messenger away message. I tongue the blubber in my mouth with my tongue of blubber in my mouth. I miss you this fatty, this close to home where it's always warm and slimy. Like the sea, I should call the ocean, but I don't because it's freezing. Today, I am a fisherman. Check out my magnificent beard, wet with boat air and hugging me. Look at these hooks I won't use for anything. Fish fry in the morning, but with pancakes. Captain's log with the first mate's entries. Never actually been on a boat, so I'm imagining, and it looks like you and me, forever, doing the wrong everything. Tonight, I'm Nicolas Cage. All I want in the world is to light a cigarette for 1995 Elizabeth Shue. And it's cool, all right? It's fine. I can pay for this. She can too. I'm dying in Vegas with light bulbs sloshing in my gut. My body isn't a good person, you hear? My body isn't a knife, okay? We're happy. I'm not gonna say anything about yesterday. What do you think all the dead guys are for? My dog died once. I don't remember her, but there's a photograph of us holding hands while sleeping. Okay, so I have two more for you. One's short and one is not so short. Start with the short one. Do you guys all know what Yahoo Answers is? You like submit a question online from as simple as like, how do you bake a however many pound chicken? And then strangers answer it to like, where do babies come from? It's hilarious. If you're not familiar, look it up. Self-portrait on Yahoo Answers. You want to know what love is? Here, drink this beer while taking a piss. All right, the last poem is called Self-Portrait as Craigslist Ad for a Fun Afternoon. And again, thank you so much to Grant and Malvern and all of you for coming. Self-Portrait as Craigslist Ad for a Fun Afternoon. Pick a card, any card, throw it in the trash can that everyone else seems to be taking things out of. Don't you want to gouge all the seasons and roll in the goo? Don't you ever just want to make a balloon animal for your dentist? I mean, how else can you say I'm sorry to someone who puts their hands inside your mouth, but with a bright red dog, fish, or pony that will one day, at a point no one knows, maybe when you finally start flossing, make an excruciating, boring song and then get thrown away. Let's go buy 19 decks of cards, fold them into 1,000 paper brains. We can use the 12 cards left over to make a jury to watch them hang. Or maybe we should drag all the pots and pans onto the floor, record ourselves whacking them with spoons, clapping and crying. We can call the album Doo-Wop, Doo-Wah, Do Your Laundry Tomorrow. I bet we can go on tour in that broken down van behind the library. You know, the one no one has even bothered to graffiti, unless you count the lone bumper sticker that's had its meaning torn away. We could push it down the street to our favorite bar until we're sweating, stagger inside and tell everyone the show's over. I'd meet a girl, a striking one, leaning up against the jukebox, with an expression stupid men on the sidewalk would call unhappy. I want to ask her favorite book, what she thinks about swimming, stick my hands in her pockets, give her all my change so she can make musical decisions for me. Instead, I say, don't stand too close to the jukebox. She asks why I'm scared of machines. All the ashtrays in here are full of salt and bloody knuckles, carpet fibers, bottle caps, and SASEs. I want to take a bath in a crosswalk. I want to fill my arms with potatoes and tell everyone their pocket watches. Look at all of the time we could be taking a knife to and peeling single, magnificent curls we could tape to our walls and ceilings. But we're dancing in a room full of people photographing table etchings until she takes out her keys and carves her initials next to something obscene. And I think back to the day we met, how it wasn't love, but a stunning that there could in this world, in this room, be a person to see who you want to never stop seeing. A reason to photograph furniture, peel potatoes, break your watch, hug jukeboxes, go swimming, read books,